taking our factories. Look at what's happening with China. And Hillary likes people, you know, the Trans-Pacific Partnership deal is going to be worse, in my opinion, worse, if that's possible, than NAFTA. And Hillary Clinton wants it. And so does Obama want it. It'll be a total disaster for our country.
She called it the gold standard, but now she says there's problems with it.
Well, no, she wanted it so badly, and now she sees that I'm against it, so she went and studied it, and now she says, oh, maybe he's right. So maybe now she's going against it, but that's only
All right, let's
because
stop.
it will be.
No, she's not going against it. She's saying Bill is really smart and that Bill will run the economy. She said that back on like Monday or Tuesday. Trump knows that this is about as on a screw job, but he knows they'll call it a conspiracy. He should say foreign nationals and foreign groups have had a corporate coup in America. Globalism is a one-sided street to consolidate control and deindustrialize us. And then the political class wants us all poor so they can control us, but they make the money off the Chinese slave factories and the Mexican sweatshops. That's what's really going on. It's not a failure. NAFTA and GATT is a great coup over America, just like the EU is over Europe. It is a huge success. All right, I don't know how much of this we can play ahead of our next guest joining us, but the story's up on drugsreport.com. And it, of course, deals with the insanity going on as our reporters are on the East Coast. Angry mob surrounds Trump supporter. Here is just some of the video and audio I can play. I can't play much because there's just so much beeping we'd have to do. Because most of the Hillary and Bernie supporters, as you know, only know like maybe 6 or 7 cuss words, or you're a white male if they're white, even though they're white male. So you can't speak if you're a white male, even though you can speak if you're a white male. So let's go ahead and turn to that. We'll back that back up and play some of this. Here's this Muslim woman. Here's this Muslim woman who wouldn't even be allowed, if you're a TV viewer, you can see this, who wouldn't even be allowed to be out in public if she wasn't in the United States in most Muslim countries. And then now she wants to sit here and tell this other, but there's so much cussing we can't play it. I was told there was a few clips we could play, right? Oh yeah, the Nazi clip. Yeah, let's play that. It's so original but if you're against the EU, they say you're a Nazi, even though the Nazis set up the plan for the EU. So see, if you're George Soros and an actual Nazi, then you get to call everybody else a Nazi. But if you aren't a Nazi, then you know you have to sit down and be called one. Let's go ahead and go to this clip.
Hey, how are y'all doing? Yeah.
How you doing, buddy?
Good. Got anything to say? So Trump's a Nazi, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Wow. Was Trump a Nazi?
He likes to scapegoat minorities. He wants to, he attacks the Bill of Rights, the First Amendment, Fifth Amendment, due process of law for immigrants. He also...
Well, it is kind of concerning how he was talking about freedom of the press. You know, he's saying he's going to go after news organizations that say bad things about him. You know, that's...
Yeah, he wants to increase the libel laws, and he's got a reputation for that, attacking people.
Yeah. So do you think Trump is Hitler-esque? I mean...
I think he's Hitler in 1929, before Hitler came to power, as he was building his movements.
Right. Do anything?
I mean, I agree. I feel like he's following the playbook, definitely. He hasn't gotten to the point of Hitler yet, obviously, but he's definitely trending all the same things, scapegoating minorities, you know, turning complicated issues into easy solutions, which essentially involve just getting rid of people that he doesn't want. So,
do you foresee Trump, you know, committing some act of genocide like Hitler, though?
Maybe not to the form. I mean, I don't think he's going to kill anybody, but I mean, he's talking about mass deportation, no due process, just getting rid of people. I mean, that's not a solution. And he's
nuclear weapons. So that's a form of genocide, I would say. If you want to use nuclear weapons.
What is want to use nuclear weapons?
Essentially, they blamed all the problems on the poor people and scapegoated.
All right, let me comment on this now. This is the only group that can actually talk, so that's why we're playing it without cuss words. You notice Zimmerman, brings up as my reporter, real issue with Trump on some of the things he said about the press and libel laws. Though, I don't know, I'm the victim of MSNBC saying I influenced the Boston Bombers with no proof, or I'm deeply racist. I mean, I could win a suit on them. But regardless, Trump says some stuff I disagree with. I mean, I'm not going to agree with somebody 100%. But Mexico and all these other countries have borders and strong immigration laws and, like, torture people and forced labor them, which I don't agree with if you're Guatemalan and come into Mexico. But here, they're advertising, get everything free, have your baby for free. We're going bankrupt. Trump points that out. He's not scapegoating immigrants. He doesn't hate immigrants. He says he loves immigrants. Then he's criticized for hiring immigrants that are legal. So it's a fraud. Just like they say, you know, that he wants to kill Muslims or he wants to ban Islam. It's Islam in its current form that wants to ban everybody else's religion. So it's the attempt to put him in the light of this just incredible monster, and then you virtue signal with your little Trump sign that he's a Nazi, and then you go out and hold up your sign when our elite have killed 300,000 people with their proxy army in Syria. Our elite have overthrown Libya. Our elite are funding radical Islam. Our elite are selling baby parts. Our elite are so close to Hitler, they're eugenicists, that I'm just so sick of these mindless, well-being liberals and just coming out and just bumbling around with their idiocy. I mean, look at this woman. She's helpless. All right, folks, we are back live. We've got Peter Schiff of Euro Pacific Capital joining us on all the big developments in the economy coming up at the bottom of the hour. Then we have, is it David Knight hosting the fourth hour today? Yes. Also, I've got other news I want to get to that I've mentioned. Google honors Maoist who admired Osama bin Laden on their big official front page yesterday on the birthday of China's Cultural Revolution admirer, just days after China's Cultural Revolution 5th anniversary that killed 84 million people. They promoted the iconic image of the young Maoist, herself of Japanese background, basically praising that whole situation. Simply incredible to see things like this. Google honors Maoist who admired Osama bin Laden. Asian American revolutionary Yuri Kochiyama looked up to Karl Marx, Mao Zedong, and Osama bin Laden, to name a few, but that didn't stop Google from honoring her on their homepage Thursday. Again, these are rich capitalists, hundreds of billions of dollars, one of the top 5 companies in the world, hooked in with the White House. And Obama comes out a few months ago in South America and Argentina and says, oh, we need communism to work with capitalism, but capitalism will be multinational up above the nation states. The nation states will be communist. So you'll be in a slave pit in the people's paradise. We'll kill you if you want to, but we'll be multinational on jumbo jets. We'll have cars. We'll have air conditioner. We'll have red carpets. You will have nothing. And look, here's your icon. Always the rich elite promoting communism because it's only for you. They're exempt from it. Warren Buffett, the biggest recipient of the banker bailout, was the biggest promoter of it. Just type in Warren Buffett, the biggest recipient of the banker bailout was the biggest promoter of it. That's the headline with McClatchy. Perhaps I flipped it. The biggest promoter was the biggest recipient was the actual headline. Same thing, same difference. So we're at this crossroads. These people are so monstrous. They don't want you to have enough money to be free market and to make your own decisions. They want you so poor they control your life. Now, our next guest is almost the bottom of the hour, Blair White, and perhaps we should get her on from time to time to give some balance to all this, because it's like Camille Paglia. I remember my dad, when I was a teenager, knew that I was a big history buff. So he said, you ought to read this book. I forget which one of her books it was, but it made a lot of sense. And, she's what I'd call a real liberal. I mean, she's for more freedom, more openness, a more open society, but doesn't want to ban words and tell you how to think and tell you what to do and go around persecuting everybody. He's a big critic of folks attacking Trump and others, and third wave, quote, feminism. But look, first wave had a lot of good issues in it because those issues were already there. It was hijacked by Edward Bernays. That's been declassified, and the OSS, then the CIA, to end the family and to break down independent free culture. So there are a lot of diverse people in all these movements and groups, but what's driving it? And so now they come out and they claim anyone who smiles at a black person is racist. Anyone who doesn't smile is racist. Or if you don't use the proper term and what you're supposed to call people, you're racist. And that's always changing. To always make you guilty, always make you bad. And a clip she wants us to play, Blair is a social and political commentator that focuses on feminism and social justice. She's also transgender and enjoys debunking the liberal fallacies about transgenderism that have become the mainstream narrative. And regardless what you think of this, they've only chosen this movement as their new civil rights movement to promote the government coming in my view, and starting a gender debate that they want to define. So it's about the government being the parents and controlling the culture. And that's undebatable in my view, but we'll talk about it. But who says that the radical, crazy left over at salon promoting pedophilia on a weekly basis now. How does that speak for you? So there's also this whole moral signaling thing where these groups claim they speak for everyone. So it's a very, very dangerous situation. And one clip she wanted us to play was, her YouTube site's youtube.com Blair White or / Blair White, on Twitter, MS Blair White or msblairwhite.com. But there's another clip we have here that is from Tumblr Vomit. This is Blair White commenting, Blair provides counterpoints to a trans activist Tumblr video. All straight people are transphobic. See, that's the issue. If you're straight, you must be bad. It's not that you're tolerant or don't care or live and let live. Now, mother and father existing, or he or she on an entrance form, that may hurt someone that now you're not even a he or she. It's not just identify how you want, it's that any identification is bad. And that's where this is going. It's a very asexual, very bland, controlled environment, in my view. And that's what the social engineers admit they're doing. We're going to our guests in a moment. But here is part of that breakdown where this person says that all straight people are transphobic. Everything is sexist, racist, homophobic. Only those denouncing everyone are high and mighty and good. This is a cult. If a straight person says they're not transphobic, they're lying and cannot be trusted. Microaggressions, etc. So that's where this is going. Let's play the clip.
All cisgender people are transphobic, just as all men hold misogynistic views, and all white people are racist.
Where have I heard that before?
Everything is sexist, everything is racist, everything is homophobic.
All cisgender people are transphobic.
I mean, what a shitty world to live in, like painting the world around you as always racist, always transphobic, always misogynistic. Is there no silver lining with these people?
I've known that I'm trans for 5 years, and I still sometimes struggle with internalized transphobia. Thoughts that maybe I am a freak.
Aha, you're projecting. Just because you think you're a freak doesn't mean everyone around you constantly thinks you're a freak. Calm down.
If you tell me that as a cisgender person, you are not transphobic, you are telling me not to trust you.
Oh my God. So, you only trust someone who tells you they are transphobic. Because that's them repenting for their sins, right?
By telling me that you are not transphobic, you're telling me that you are unaware or choose to live in the dark about the way that we are socialized in a Western society.
Okay, so what this is an attack on Western society, and that no matter how tolerant and open someone is, they can never prove themselves proper to the high priestesses and priests who will always expand what is offensive and what words they want to ban or restrict. These are people in the whole political correctness, social justice warrior movement that want to control reality. This is a weaponized globalist program, declassified, to do this. Now, it takes over other movements and other groups and other things. But at its core, this is what it's projecting, in my view, and from our research. And so I want to go to our guest now, but just imagine where this just never stops. No one can ever just be left alone. You've got to be told because you're white or you're Western or you're male, you're inherently bad. Well, that is inherently classist, racist, bigoted at its foundation, because any dumbed-down intellectual movement is going to be based on that. So this is the product of our dumbed-down society, the lowered IQ, all of it. And this is the type of weaponized media we face. Blair White, thanks for coming on. I mean, you've heard my comments on this. I saw your video and thought it was thought-provoking, because I mean, this is inside the whole debate. It seems like these people are bullies trying to order everyone to just do exactly what they say. But even if you submit every week, they're updating the new thing you must do. But even if you do that, you can't help the fact, because you're, I guess, white, you're inherently evil.
Absolutely. One of the reasons why I started my channel was because I was tired of being co-opted by these people. I think that unfortunately they've gained a monopoly on, anything to do with transgenderism. And it was just really frustrating for me. So I wanted to start my channel and sort of just provide just a different narrative, because unfortunately their way of thinking and their way of looking at, trans issues and anything in the world has become the mainstream narrative. And if you go against it, then you are blacklisted, basically.
We see a radicalization here, just like with Islam, where the most radical get in control, so they're always one-upping each other on who can be the most extreme. Do you think that's kind of what's happening here? And also, who is the fountainhead of all